Hey there guitar players, in today's fretboard mastery lesson I want to talk to you about interval relationships. So following on from the last session that I did with you guys here where we was talking about learning the notes on the fretboard, what I want to talk today is something super powerful, which is about understanding the interval relationships between particular notes. It's something that I talk about quite a lot during my lessons over at Cutting Edge Guitar and in the online learning platform and all of that good stuff. But it's a particularly powerful concept because when you are soloing, you don't want to be in a position where you are just wandering up and down scales. You don't really know what to aim for and all of that stuff. You want to be able to articulate the sound of a chord. So for example, in this particular lesson, I'm actually looking at playing over a D minor 7 chord. So I'm using iReal Pro, the same as I did in the last session. Here's the backdrop that we've got. So it's a D minor 7 chord. And what I'm thinking is I'm using like a D Dorian kind of vibe. Now, if you don't know about modes and all of that sort of stuff, that doesn't massively matter for this particular lesson. I'm going to cover that at a later date. I also have covered that in previous lessons on my YouTube channel, but I've also talked about that an absolute ton at Cutting Edge Guitars. If you want more help with them sorts of things, do check that out. But what I want to talk about really here is the intervals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a particular root note. So I'm going to pick this D over here. Now I'm suggesting that you want to be able to do as a soloist, you want to be able to find any interval that you're looking to hit. So you don't want to just play notes purely because a scale shape tells you that that's the applicable notes. You want to be able to shoot for particular intervals when you want to hear them, and also before you shoot for them, you ideally want to have an idea in your head of what they sound like, and like that only comes from a bit of research and development and all that stuff over time. But so if I'm taking this D note here, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to find all of the other notes or all of the other intervals. So if I'm looking for a second, I want to be able to go straight to it. So that's where my second is. I want a minor third because I'm playing over a minor chord. I want to be able to see from that root note that it's there. Now, you could, like with a lot of these intervals as well, you could sort of move them to their other position if you want to play, or you want to be able to play your minor third there and there, and you want to have a good enough understanding of your fretboard to be able to go, oh, this is other places where I can play the notes. But just for the ease of it, let's just go second, minor third. This is your fourth directly underneath. We're going to go to the fifth over here, so that's 10th fret on your B string. Now, because I'm looking at this from a sort of Dorian perspective, I want a major sixth, okay? So that would be here, a B note. So, for those who aren't familiar with the modes and all of that stuff, it was looking at playing the natural minor scale. I would need something called a flat six, which is going to be a B flat. Actually, one of the things is if you learn all of your major intervals, so 2, 3, well, yeah, so I'm talking about a minor third here because it's a minor scale, but if I was to say, like, from any root note, go 2, 3 as in major third, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then to the octave. If you learn all your major intervals, all you will need to do to get things like sharp fours or flat fives or minor thirds, anything like that, you just alter the interval relationships that you've learned. I'm just doing this in a minor key because most of my students are rock or blues fans. So, we were over here to a fifth. If I go over here, I've got my 6. I would also want a flat 7 if I'm playing against the D minor 7 chord, so that's going to be here, and then there's my octave. Now, you could play against something like that iReal Pro backing. You could just play these through and be like, okay, so go from the root to the 2, and start teaching yourself the sound of it and internalise it. Decide for yourself, do you like the sound of that interval or not? Now start doing the minor third. about that interval. You know what I mean? So I'm now going to the fourth. So all of your intervals, they'll have a profound effect, you know. And also as well, they have a quality that's like the fourth there. It has a very suspended quality, so it sounds like it wants to go up to a fifth. We're playing the fifth here in this case, but obviously, like I say, it has that effect, that quality that makes it sound suspended. So the fifth, sixth, it's obviously a very characteristic sound of Dorian, but also as well, it's quite what's the word I'm looking for? It's got a very obvious sense, doesn't it? It's like stands out. It feels like it wants to go back to that fifth. Now if we go to that flat 7, that sounds like it wants to resolve to the octave. But this is another thing that you want to be doing when you're playing through these ideas. Like, just think, does it sound stable or does it sound like it wants to move? And that's a great exercise to do as well. Play root 2, root minor 3, root 4, root 5, root 6, root flat 7, root octave. Obviously I can't sing, so my life, couldn't give a shit, I'm a guitar player. But you know, by doing that, I'm starting to develop a command of the intervallic structures. And then of course when you start playing through a scale shape, something like this, when I'm playing through that entire scale now, I can, instead of just having to like just play patterns or sequences, if you've got control of the intervals, you can shoot for that bluesy stuff, or if you want to do where you really want to outline that sixth, you've got to know where it is to be able to do it, you know. And then you just go around and do whatever it is that you want to do with them. But anyway, the point is, guys, how you go about learning that is, ideally you want to have something like a fretboard diagram or something like that that shows you a PDF fretboard diagram that shows you where all of the intervals are and all of that good stuff. And then do exercises like the one that I've showed you there, and just develop your ears, develop the knowledge of where they are, and start playing around with them all over the neck. Now, if you do want more help with that stuff, I've put all of that kind of content over at my online learning platform, Cutting Edge Guitar. If you don't want to come and join us over there, at the very, very least, if you've enjoyed just watching the video, I would absolutely love it if you just smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay guys, that's it for this lesson. I really hope it's been helpful. See you next time.